What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Lockdown Universe, home of the bizarre, peculiar, and unheard of stories of UFO legend and paranormal lore. So welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Here we are. Alright, so what are we going to talk about today? We are going to talk about what my friend Sam Gray wanted me to point out, which is the fact that there was a humongous ball photographed and filmed on the tarmac at Manchester Airport in England. An actual UFO, well, I should say an orb, and it's like bluish, and it almost has like a sci-fi look to it, an alien sci-fi look to it. So this article, most articles came out today, yesterday, a couple days ago, but I believe this event took place a little while back. So I want to read through this article, and we'll find out what happened here. So, video and images of an orb-shaped UFO allegedly taken by a co-pilot on the runway at Manchester Airport in Great Britain have led to many unanswered questions. The sighting reportedly occurred this past June, but was just shared this last week. That's why there's a time discrepancy on it. That's why people are freaking out about it now. It seems weird that somebody would hang on to it for this long, but maybe they were really worried about their job. Because reportedly this guy who posted it is actually a pilot, and maybe he was worried that it could get connected back to him. Well, I hate to tell you, but just because you waited 6 months doesn't mean it couldn't come back to you. Especially since people know it happened in June, and it's not like you did anything wrong. But the fact of the matter is that they wanted people to shut up about it, just like every other damn thing. So, an anonymous source who goes by the pseudonym Captain Bigelow on Twitter, also known as X, claimed to be an airline pilot who received video and images from a colleague. He also claimed that after the UFO sighting, airport security was dispatched to investigate the UFO sighting. However, he said, seemingly upon realizing it had been spotted, the object departed the scene with a sudden vertical ascent. And another story, adding another layer of mystery to the curious case, the Captain Bigelow account was shut down shortly after the post started catching attention of the UFO enthusiasts online. And it got a whole bunch of discussion on Reddit. Over on Reddit, the post stated, I spoke to Captain Bigelow, I got photos and received other images from their colleagues at Manchester Airport. No metadata could be recovered. So that's what's interesting. It seems like it must have been like a copy, maybe, that was sent over. But, even a copy, you'd think that, there'd be some metadata. But I think, there's two things to think about when there's no metadata, right? It's either A, somebody's trying to keep their anonymity, in check, and they made sure that there was no metadata on it to be tracked back to them. That's actually how the BTK killer was captured. He made some sort of, he was writing to the police, and he sent it in on a disc. And, those 3x5 discs that we used to have back in the day, in the 90s. And he sent it in on a disc, and the disc had metadata on it, and it linked it back to a church. And he wrote it from a church, actually. And that's how they were able to capture him. The whole time he had been writing on paper, and they weren't able to trace that to anything, but they were able to trace that disc because anything digital can be traced to you, right? So this metadata was erased, I guess. I'm not a super tech guy, but they reported it to the tower, and the ops vehicle investigated. So, like, their security vehicle investigated it, and as soon as they kind of made their presence known, these security forces, or security, team, I guess, the orb shoots up, and the video was taken. So They didn't capture it as it was shooting up because they didn't, I don't know, they just didn't catch it, but they caught it when it was in the air. So there's 3 images of this ball right next to 2 airliners, and then there's a video of it flying in the air. You guys have probably already seen this stuff because it looks like it's been out since November 27th, so it's been out for a few days now. The original source of the images and video also wrote before deleting their Reddit account, "Hello. The link to this thread was posted on X, on the X thread. I thought I'd join the conversation to clarify some points of discussion. Firstly, my name is not Bigelow. I won't be revealing my true identity because I would like to remain anonymous. The last thing I want is my name or the first officers plastered all over the internet for the world to see. Please be respectful that we are professionals. We like to keep our heads down and our noses clean. If the metadata reveals any personal details, please do not post them." So they were trying to be careful. That being said, the X account, to share the videos and photos with the world, I believe do need to be seen. I have been an airline pilot for the United Kingdom for several decades, and we know what is normal and what isn't. Yeah, if you work in an airport, you're going to know what's normal and what isn't. But rest assured, we know what we're looking at in the skies. The photos and videos were taken by a colleague, and as such, I'm relaying that to you. This is not a balloon. This is not a drone. It has been a hot topic of conversation in our community for quite some time. Okay. So, if you haven't seen this video yet, just type in UFO Manchester, alien, not alien, don't put that in, because it's not probably going to pull it up. Just type in Orb Manchester, and it'll pull up. Now, that's one story. That story is really interesting. I mean, it's a ball. It looks blue. There's been some people who've digitally taken it and not manipulated, but changed like the shading to kind of get a better idea for what it looks like. And it looks like there's almost like 2 horn type things. And I'm not saying they're like goat horns or anything like that. I'm just saying like 2 tips. I don't know. You could think of them as like kitty cat ears if you want to. And those seem to be coming up a little bit in some of the images that I've seen. You may not have seen those, but that's what I've seen with some of the shading work that's been done by professionals. You're not going to see that if you're just looking at it and you just zoom in. You're not going to see that because it hasn't been gradiented and shaded. But when you do that, you're able to see more. And if you zoom in, I mean, it kind of looks like a big bowling ball. It's hard to get an idea for how big this thing is. If I'm basing it off of like the engine size of the airliners and how far away they are from this thing, I mean, it looks decent size, but it's just a guess. I mean, it could be a few feet tall by a few feet wide, and or just a few feet in diameter. It could be more. Yeah, it's tough to say. It's hard, and it doesn't say anything in the article about what they think the size was. Let me see. No, I don't want to log into X. I was hoping to get some, quotes from some people and see what they thought. I'll read the 400 replies. Let's see if we can get any replies. So I haven't actually logged in, but I bet you they're going to want us to log in. Let's see what a couple people may or may not have to say here. So let's scroll down. Now we got the videos. Yes, we got the videos. I see that. Okay, well, I'm going to skip on to the next story, which is the drones that are off of our coast here in America, off of the eastern coast of America, where New Jersey and New York are. And a lot of people have been reporting these drones, and these drones seem to be not helicopters, not airplanes, people don't think that they're regular drones either, which I got to find out why, because there's a lot of people that have drones. I mean, we just did a podcast on the fact that there's thousands of drones being produced by Chinese companies, millions of drones being produced by Chinese companies. And we have our own companies here in America and France that are producing drones, and people have been buying them forever. I mean, I used to sell drones at Radio Shack. I mean, they've been around for quite a while. And I mean, that was back in, that was like damn near 10 years ago, you know? So, uh, so one article states mystery drones kept a helicopter from taking a patient to the New Jersey hospital. Amidst a string of unexplained nighttime drone flights over New Jersey, a medevac helicopter was unable to pick up a seriously injured patient last week due to drones hovering near the landing zone, a security official has said. The medical helicopter was headed to an accident in Branchburg Township in Somerset County on November 26. The two security guards from Raritan Valley Community College closed roads around the scene of the crash and prepped for the medevac to land and take the accident victim to the hospital. The captain of the fire department contacted the college security office around 6:54, canceled the request for the helicopter, saying that there were too many drones flying in the area. We never found out what the actual drones were. It's kind of a mystery. We're asking around about that, but nobody knew anything. It's unclear if the drones at the college were related to a series of drone sightings over Morris and Somerset counties over the last few weeks. The drones have been spotted hovering for hours over northern New Jersey, often in groups. This has prompted the FBI to request pictures and video from the public. Okay, this is weird, because why would FBI has satellite comms available to them? Why do they need footage from the public? You got satellite, you got cameras, you got technology we don't even know about. You know, they don't tell us everything of what they have. They have to some stuff to keep secrets so they can still catch people. Because if they give up all their secrets on how they surveil, then they're not going to be able to catch the people. People will start to figure out a way around it. So for them to ask the public for pictures, it's like, are they just asking so that they can come to your house and be like, hey, look at this light, boom, and Will Smith, Men in Black you, maybe give you a little slap, and while they're there, a little Will Smith style. So I don't know, man. This is weird, and I've been hearing about this for quite some time now. I know Sam had been talking to me about it, and it just seems really weird. Let's take a look at this other article real quick. I just want to see what they have to say. The FBI seeks New Jersey residents' assistance in unraveling the drone mystery. So, the FBI, after 2 weeks of reports of drones flying at night over northern New Jersey, publicized a phone number and a website for gathering more reports related to the recent sightings of possible drones flying in several areas along the Raritan River. Witnesses have spotted a cluster of what looked to be drones and a possible fixed-wing aircraft, the FBI said in a news release, along with the New Jersey State Police and the New Jersey Office of Homeland Security and Preparedness. So they're taking this pretty damn seriously. I mean, the FBI is involved. The New Jersey State Police, makes sense, would be involved, but then also the Homeland Security and Preparedness. I mean, they're getting a lot of offices involved in this now. So the question is, if this is just some kids, flying drones around, or some amateurs flying drones around, kids might not know the limits and the legal ramifications, legal limits of flight, because there's legal limits around airports. There's legal limits in rural areas even, and then there's legal limits when you're around like a bigger city. So there's a lot of limits you have to become aware of, and to fly drones in certain states even, you need a pilot's license. That's the wild thing. So you have to become so proficient at it that you could even fly a plane, which seems crazy, but that's the way it is in some states, and especially some of the bigger states like New York, Illinois, California. But this is New Jersey. In New Jersey, they got their own breed of people out there. Nothing wrong with New Jersey people, but hey, you ever see Jersey Shore? There you go. Okay. So what's going on? I mean, do you think that this is amateurs? Amateurs. Even if they're if they're adult amateurs, they're going to know the legal rules and regulations, and they're not going to fly in groups. You know what I'm saying? So And if you saw, if you knew that you were in the area of any helicopter, airport, planes, you have to stay 500 feet or less. So I guess the question would be, especially in regards to where the New Jersey medevac helicopter couldn't land, was it, one person sending their drone out to capture some footage, because they knew it happened? Maybe they were listening to like a police radar? Or do you think that it was some amateurs just flying around? Or do you think it was a, extraterrestrial drone craft? I don't know. I mean, see, when I hear drones, I immediately think of human flying drones, not extraterrestrials. But when I saw that ball on the Manchester tarmac, okay, now we're talking about something completely different. We're talking about something that there's no describable means of flight. There's no lift, there's no drag, there's no propulsion, there's nothing. So that, to me, would be alien or something we don't know about yet. So what blows my mind, especially in regards to the Manchester ball, we'll call it the Manchester ball, is that inherently places a security threat to the entire United Kingdom, right? The United Kingdom is very well versed in keeping their country safe. How on earth would they let this thing through? Wouldn't they have blasted it out of the sky with their Air Force? Wouldn't they have seen this thing coming in? Or was it something that was so fast it immediately was able to come there, or it teleported in, right? Through trans-dimensional transportation, it teleported right in, just blinked into existence right on the tarmac. Maybe. But why? And let's take that a step further. Why would an alien species want to have surveillance over an airport of civilian nature? It would make sense for them to surveil a military base. Pop in a ball, see what's going on, see what kind of weaponry they might have that day, moving about, and what kind of, troop requirements they have, or troop movements, troop size, that kind of thing, just to get some information, intel, right? But on a civilian base, why the hell are aliens putting a ball there? This lends itself to like a completely different thought process in the alien mind. Okay, did you guys see Jupiter Ascending? If you haven't, you should definitely watch that movie. I mean, I've heard so many people pine over that movie and say how great it was, and it's great, but it's like almost 10 years old now. It's like 2015, 2014 maybe. And I'm not saying it's not great, but in Jupiter Ascending, they have a woman that all these aliens are going after, and they actually have like the little Greys abducting one woman, and they're taking her blood sample, and then they leave, and then Mila Kunis is watching her, and then she's taking a video of them, and then they like blink it all out. they mind erase them all. But the point is that the aliens are looking for a specific woman with specific genetic capabilities. They say the only valuable thing is time. Once you've conquered the vastness of space, the only valuable commodity is not money, not gold, not power, not nothing like that. It is time. So the capability for you to live longer is the only means of kind of gaining wealth, right? It's like that Justin Timberlake movie In Time, right, where they had the time on their wrist, and it was going down as they were nearing death, and they could exchange it for goods and services. Anyway, I think that that ball could have been there for a mission. It could have been there for a mission by some species surveilling someone. Now you might say, well, come on, they're aliens. They probably can see things, I don't know, remote viewing, or they have some sort of other technology. Don't put aliens so far in advance of what you think they may be. Some alien species might be super far in advance. but they still need a technology in order to monitor, right? As far as our technology can be, we still need technology to monitor. As great as we are, we still need to monitor the weather and see those great radar patterns. We have a satellite in the sky that monitors that. We have radar that we use that monitors that. It's a technology, and if we need to monitor something, then we need a camera. They need a camera. So if they're trying to find someone, or they're trying to find something, maybe there's something underneath that airport. A lot of people theorize that the Denver airport in the United States, in Colorado, is a reptilian base. There's a lot of weird murals in the Denver airport. There's a lot of weird things around the Denver airport that lend itself to being a potential base, and it's had a lot of whistleblowers come out about the Denver airport. So when it comes to that, you have to say, okay, well, maybe there's something underneath the Manchester airport that they needed intel on, and that's why they sent it out. So when we look at these and examine these stories and say, when you look at it surface level, you can say, okay, well, it's just a ball, and it's just going to go flying up in outer space, and that's it. And they were just checking out to see, how our species is. I don't think that's the case. They're not going to send it to an airport to monitor our species, right? They can see, they could probably see from outer space easily to say, okay, they have planes, and that's how they can travel now. Okay, good for them. They don't need to send a ball down to try to monitor, planes. They might be monitoring something else completely and entirely. And this was the middle of the day, This is like the middle of the day. So I guess the question is, there's so many species out there that we could point the finger at so many different ones. You could point it at anybody. But at the end of the day, you got to say, well, why did this happen? You wouldn't think that they would mistake Manchester, a commercial airport, for a military airport, and that's why they did it. They were looking for something military. No, you can tell that there's no weapon movement. There's no nothing. But maybe, I don't know. Maybe we're so alien that they don't know what's going on. Maybe we're so alien that they wanted to send it down and just monitor the air. I don't know. I would think that they'd be more intelligent than that. Maybe not. All right, guys. I think I'm going to wrap it up there. I think that, there's a lot more questions than answers on this one. But I also think that there's a lot more sightings and a lot more communication going on in the UFO world, and it seems like people are taking things seriously. People are taking things seriously, and they're putting it out there, and they're communicating, and they're publicizing it. Where before it was just made fun of, and now it's being taken more seriously. So these whistleblowers, they've started to make a dent into releasing information from people who might not have done it before. And that's what we all want to see. So I'll let you guys go. Please like, follow, share, subscribe. It's getting harder out there for little guys like us and me to get any rankings at all. There's just too many podcasts out. And that's what really sucks is the podcast was like for us little guys to communicate to people that are also interested in the same kind of stuff. And now these big companies have been pushing their own agenda. Meanwhile, us little guys, we only get you followers to listen. We don't have a budget to push us to the front page of Spotify or any of the other listening sites. So we're relying on you guys to push us out there and help us grow and stay around. So I'm relying on you guys to please just share it on your page, on your Facebook page. Hey, check out this website or this podcast, and you might like it. That would be really, really helpful. All right, guys, thanks so much for listening. I'm going to record another one and get it out to you guys. I love you. Take care of yourselves spiritually, physically, emotionally. Follow through on your hobbies and your goals and your dreams. And as always, continue to question the universe around you. Till next time, guys, take care of yourselves and Lockdown Universe out. Peace.